Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osborne. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
Choose easy, choose easy, choose easy, choose easy. I just came off of, about 45 minutes ago, a Facebook Live with my very dear friend Jill Ethier. She has a podcast called Ninja Jill Knows, which you need to subscribe to and listen. You will love her. And I will link that up. You need to follow her on Facebook. I'll give you all those resources in the show notes. But Jill and I started a weekly Facebook Live. This is just our second one. We're like, let's do it weekly. And then last week, something happened and life just blew up. Which was interesting because, as we had the one today, we're talking about how life doesn't go according to plan. Like, what do you do? Because that is life. And I will also link up in the show notes our Facebook Live, so you can watch that. It's also the Women Wanting More Facebook page. If you follow the page there, go ahead and find it. It'll be pinned at the top of the page. But there was something that Jill said to me. I was like, oh, I'm going to write this down because I'm like, this is great to talk about in a podcast episode. Which was, the whole conversation was just talking about, you know, that life doesn't go according to plan and that we do need to, now it's like spoiler alert, but go listen to it, it's still really good. That when life doesn't go according to plan, which it inevitably always does, that's not being negative or pessimistic, that is just simply, that's just reality, right? Is that your ability to adapt is paramount, and your ability to adapt is created by you caring for yourself. And we were talking about how, you know, some will say things like, well, I'm going to start going to the gym 5 days a week. But right now I go 0 days a week. And that is just, number one, not realistic. And it's just setting up for failure. And that we tend to kind of think like we have to hit the home run each time, right? Where she just said, like, choose easy. Like, start with like a 10-minute walk 3 days a week or something, right? Like, there is a progression, and make sure to tune in for the next one. Depending on when you listen to this podcast episode, it may have already been months past, but I will, yeah. Actually, you need to make sure that you follow me on my personal page. It will also be posted on the Women Wanting More Facebook page, but simply because I just have a lot of more activity on my personal page, I'm doing the lives there and then reposting it on the Women Wanting More Facebook page, or if you're part of the Women Wanting More Experience Facebook group, it'll be posted there as well. But we had this conversation about like just that there's a progression, right? There's a progression to all of these things. And that we typically, again, tend to go like, well, it has to be this thing. If it's not this, then screw it. If I can't get to the gym 7 days a week and I work at 3 hours a day, then it's not worth it, or I'm not doing it right. And when you do that, number one, you don't respect the progression. Number two, it's not realistic to go from 0 to 100. Like, and I think there's even, you'll hear kind of my opinion as to why I believe that people set up these like crazy unrealistic plans, and my theories behind that. We'll get into that more in the following week Facebook Live. But what Jill said to me was just really profound. It was like, why don't you just choose easy? Like, what is so wrong with that? It doesn't mean that you're trying to, you know, cut corners. It doesn't mean that you're not trying hard enough. It just means at times that we don't have to always think that everything must be difficult. Yes, I agree. Things that we really like work our ass off for are rewarding. And often it is required that we work really fucking hard to get something, right? Those of us that create things, if you want to create things within your life, don't expect it's going to always come easy. But I think there's times that we can choose easy that we still think, oh no, I got to suffer for it. Oh no, it's got to be incredibly difficult. Oh no, it's got to be painful in some way. And I believe that there are times where we could simply choose easy, and we build up from there, right? We build up from there. I know, for me, meditation for years was on again, off, and I'm kind of going to try it. This isn't really me. Like, I just had all sorts of stuff and stories about it. And what really worked for me is I began to choose easy. And I bought a meditation device called Muse, which, by the way, if you're getting the show notes, I was able to get us 15% off for all the listeners. I get a small little commission. It's like minimal. I don't do it for that reason. I do it because I know this is a device that changed my life, changed the game for meditation for me. And why that matters, and why it's the first thing that I do every single morning now when I get up. That's the last thing I do when I go to bed at night. But I chose easy, as opposed to me saying, like, I don't know if I'm doing right now. I mean, yes, I can just sit and breathe, and that's meditation. Like, that's fine, right? But I was like, you know what? What if I had a device that actually measured things for me? And I remember I got it. I kind of joked about it with people who had it for a while, going, look at these people. They got to get this thing to do something as simple as meditation. You just got to sit in your ass and breathe. Like, what's the big deal, right? But what I realized is it helped it become easy for me. Do you see? And I started with 3 minutes a day. 3 minutes a day. 3 minutes a day. I still remember the first time using it. I was all excited. I used it. I go up to my bedroom. It's during the day. I don't know if kids are probably at school and daycare at that time. And I go up and I use it, and it's 3 minutes, and I open my eyes and I go, oh my God, it just felt like I took a 20-minute nap. Like, wow, this thing is incredible. Came down, raved about it with my husband, going, you got to get this. This is unbelievable. 3 minutes, I feel more refreshed and relaxed, and like I got something from this meditation practice today than I have trying to sit there for 15, 20 minutes, you know. So I started there. I chose easy, which was 3 minutes. I'm like, I can commit to 3 minutes a day. And what was really fun is with Muse, there's like different targets you go for and different levels, and then it keeps track of how many days in a row. And, you know, I didn't want to break my streak. So here I am there's been some glitches with the software, and they're kind of cleaning it up. Right now it still says 216 days, and it's like, no, it's about 430 or so, over a year that I've done daily meditation. And it started with 3 minutes. I chose easy. And then I built up to 5, and then 10, and 15. And 15 is like a good amount of time for in the morning. And then I do 5 minutes the night before bed, which is the easiest thing in the world. The reason I only do 5 at night, I found if I did 10, I was starting to fall asleep. Like, I'm like, why am I sitting here, like, doing the nod off, right? When it's like, my body's like, okay, we're good. We got what we needed. I'm like, okay, 5 minutes is all I need. I literally fall asleep in 7 minutes or less, usually less than 5 minutes. Like, it's like the best sleeping pill without all the horrific evil side effects, right? So choose easy. So here's your more tip for today. What is something you're trying to create in your life right now? Maybe it is something like a meditation practice, or it is the way that you're eating, or it is an exercise routine, or it is relationship with your husband or with your kids. Like, where do you need to be choosing easy with that specific area of your life where you're just making things so fucking hard? Like, I get it. But seriously, I think there is so much impact that can happen in the simple, that when we always think that it has to be difficult, I think we realize again that there is magic in simplicity. Why do you think a lot of people are choosing not to have a lot of stuff and live this kind of minimalist lifestyle and, you know, get things automated? Like, you know, I buy my groceries online. Like, I don't go into grocery stores. I have to today because I forgot to place the order. However, I could automate that more, right? Like, why are we choosing these things? Because we're realizing that it not only frees up energy in our days and we don't have to like do these things. I have something simple, my Starbucks app. I go to Starbucks each day. I have an app. Once it gets to a certain dollar amount, it refills with more off my credit card. Like, I don't have to stop and pay each time. I now do a mobile order. I never wait in lines. Like, I'm choosing to create areas of my life that I can make simple. Are there still areas of life that are complicated? Of course. Parenting is one of them, right? Parenting is a big one of that. But there's also, you know, things that I can do to choose simple, even within complicated parts of my life, like being a mother. You know, kids are going crazy. I can hold on to a grudge. I could be like, you guys aren't listening. I just go, you know what? Let me just go with the flow here and choose easy. Let me just kind of be silly and funny right now and help to break their state and break my state. Maybe I could just choose easy. Maybe pushing up against things all the time is not the solution. In fact, it's not the solution. You know that. And yes, some of the greatest things come from things that are difficult to do, but I think we can even choose easy in that experience. So again, what is that area of your life that you're trying to create something, achieve something, get a specific result or outcome, where you're just just making things way more difficult than need to. You just need to choose easy. And what is that? Let's make this actionable. What is that one easy thing that you can choose to do today? And do that. And there you go, sister. So make sure, if you're not already receiving the Women Wanting More newsletter, as this movement, this community is evolving and changing, I want you to be privy of that. It's not going to be everything I talk about in the podcast. And so the newsletter is where I share all of that. My upcoming book that's coming out most likely will now be in early 2019. So head over right now to drkarenosborn.com/action guide. So you can get all of that and some amazing training videos that I produced inside a private Facebook group earlier this year that were absolute fire. So I'm going to give that all to you as being part of that newsletter. drkarenosborn.com/action guide. And then number 2, if you want to get one of there's 35-ish or so Women Wanting More limited edition journals left that I'm giving away for free. Yes, you take care of shipping. It's $9.95. FYI to a few women that said I could get journals anywhere. Okay, cool. Do that then. But just know that each one, $9.95 doesn't even cover my shipping costs, actually. It doesn't. I just made it something that was under $10. So most of you to go, cool, I want that. And I created the journal because I know how powerful that journaling is. And I didn't want to be an excuse for you. But yeah, each one that I ship out with the journal and everything else that I send, plus the shipping, it costs me about $13 to $15. And I don't do this as a guilt trip thing for you. Just know I'm just sharing this with you because I do this because I care. I do this podcast because I care. I don't get paid for doing this podcast. It costs me my time and energy, my money. But I do this because I feel called to speak to you 5 days a week, to share these messages. And because I feel so strongly pulled to something, I simply follow it. I choose easy. I don't try to figure it out. I don't try to, choose easy. So where do you do that for you then today, sister? But yeah, journal. I went off on a tangent again for a second. Journal for you to get one of the last ones is drkarenosborn.com/free journal. So Dr. Karen Osborn, which is spelled OSBURN.com/free journal. So I will talk to you on the next episode, sister. A life of more is one step away from you choosing easy in the areas of your life that you can every single day. I love and appreciate you.
To get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip, subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosborn.com/newsletter.